Welcome to Deep Thought, Spirit and Money. The key to money is really not really getting a job or having it, winning it in a lottery or anything. The key is your spirit. The key is your spirit. That's the key. Because one thing with money, you got to have a certain consciousness to bring it to you. That's your spirit. It doesn't necessarily mean, when I speak in terms of spirit, I don't mean your particular spiritual path or whatever doctrines you follow. I mean your personality, the intangibles, the energetic part of you. See, your spirit is energy. Your spirit is energy. The thoughts that are going through your head as you listen to my voice, the thoughts that are going through my head as I record this is energy. The thoughts that created the music that's in the background, that's energy. Everything is energy. Our bodies are they're just the hard, they're the computer. That's the hard part. That's the casing. The software is what makes it work. The software is what makes it go. Our spirit is our software. So if you want to make money, you got to have your spirit right. See, and there's two general consciousness as far as money. You have some people who have a poverty consciousness, and you have some people who have an abundance consciousness, right? That's both spirit. It's how you think about money. When people have a poverty consciousness, they think like they're poor. They behave like they're poor. And, usually when they have that, they treat money like it's not going to, that they got to spend right away. It's ironic, people who have a poverty consciousness actually spend more, and they will buy stuff. They get their money, they get paid on their jobs, and, their paycheck is gone pretty much the next day, It's some even to the point where they can't even pay basic bills, and this was before COVID came around. Whereas someone with an abundance consciousness, they don't spend the money, but that's because they saving it. They doing something with it because they have an abundance consciousness. They know they'll get more. And even regardless of their spiritual path, they realize it's how they think, right? It's very important. It's very important. How do you think about money? Are you one of those people that think, oh, I don't have money, I don't have this or that? Or are you one of those people who your thoughts are actually creating the reality where you will get money? Now, remember what I said previously in a previous episode about controlling the flow of your money. The analogy of digging a ditch from that river to bring it to your house, or having some pots where you can scoop up that water, or, the water will pour it into. Well, you got to have the spirit. You got to have the mindset to have that energy first. You got to have a money consciousness. But understand the money is energy, And that money consciousness, here's the key to it. You don't want to think in terms, oh, I want $1 million. You don't. You don't want to think in terms, whatever amount of money you want or need. Don't think about a number. Don't put a number on it. What you do is have that consciousness where your consciousness will move your body to take the actions necessary to bring the money to you. But it starts with the consciousness. Your body doesn't move without thinking. So you have that consciousness first. You have that spirit first. And then the money will come to you. Because what happens is the spirit puts you in a position to draw it to you. Now, in the previous episode, I talked about working on a job. Like you say you want a raise, right? You want a raise. You'll start doing stuff. I'll use the example for myself. One of the jobs I had, my last full-time job was working in retail, working at a large retail place. And that was to bring in extra money for my business. My business didn't take up. I was still publishing. And even though, working on different things, and I would do different things related, like seminars and stuff. But it was never enough money to keep things going. And that's one thing, if you're an entrepreneur, Most entrepreneurs usually work a steady job to keep steady money flowing. So that's what I was doing. But when I first started on this particular job, I was actually had another full-time job working in an office. Yeah, I've had plenty, right? So all I did, my consciousness was to make money. My consciousness was to make money, even getting those jobs, because I was like, okay, these books ain't doing it. It was a time the books just by themselves weren't doing it. So we had to do something, right? Just having that consciousness, I actually got the office job just going. It was actually working for a market research company. And I actually went there because I just saw something about becoming a part of a focus group. And then when I was at the office, all I did was ask them. I said, hey, I need help around here. But all of that came from my spirit. All of that came from my spirit. And then when I had the part-time job, all I did was just work hard. That's all I did. I didn't do anything special, But even on that job, I was only on minimum wage for 2 weeks because I had the full-time job already. And I told them they wanted me to come in longer. I said, well, I can't do it. They liked what I was doing in just 2 weeks. So I said, okay, well, y'all got to pay me more. And that's exactly what they did. They took me off minimum wage right away. But how did I get the job, the one job, the market research job, and then the retail job, right? What did I do? Did I hit them with my experience? No, my experience was selling my books, doing sales, but when I worked retail, I didn't do sales. I didn't do sales at all. Even though I had experience there. So I was able to get 2 jobs in areas I didn't have experience in. But what was it? It was my spirit. It was my spirit saying, okay, I got to have these money pots. So it changed me. It put me in such a way that I drew the money to me. Let me say that again. I drew the money to me. Because they offered me full time. And even on the market research job, they offered me full time. It wasn't a full time position at first, But I drew it to me. When I've been on different jobs, I drew it to me. In fact, I remember, and I'm giving personal examples because I want people to know that I walk my talk. Right? I remember there was a time I saw something. It was like one of those things. Back when we had like those help wanted ads and stuff in the newspapers. I don't even know if they still do that. Everything online now. And I went to this place and it was like one of those multi-level marketing things. And usually when you go into those things, it's like you get the regulars there who are already a part of the company and they really just trying to recruit. They just trying to recruit. And they'll have somebody stand in the front and they telling you all of this stuff, right? And then, people will gradually walk out. But see, I've noticed one thing. I was sitting there chilling. I was just sitting there chilling, just listening. And I was like, I was always that person who always looked around. Always keep an eye out, keep my head on a swivel. Living in a bad environment do that for you. Right? And I was like, why do these people keep moving? There was like people, men and women, like gradually inching closer towards me. I was like, and they were smiling too. I was like, what the heck? And I was like, okay. All of a sudden, they started talking. One started talking to me, then another, and they were just talking to me about the business and everything. And I'm like, how come y'all not doing that with everybody else? I'm thinking that, right? But then I thought about how I was dressed. See, I came in there to make money. I came in with a shirt and tie on. Everybody else came in there maybe with a T-shirt, looking a little bummy and all of that. I was in there, had my nice little shirt and tie like I was going for an interview, right? And I was sitting up and everything. But see, it wasn't just the physicality, it was the energy. I was on there because I was looking for another way to make money. Ironically, I had a job at the time, but I'm a workaholic, so, so I'm always looking for something extra. Even now, for all I'm doing, I always think, well, is there something extra I could do? But that's just me. But they saw it. But it was my spirit that led me to behave in a certain way to draw money to me. See, that's the key. You got to have the right mindset. You got to have the mindset to create the pot for that water to pour into. And that mindset, that really connects to the energy, because remember, energy is money. So I want y'all to think about that. Right? Really making money starts in your spirit. So anyway, that's all I have for now. I'll talk to y'all. Peace.